Flush inset installation. The flush installation case trim is provided in the ZKFN kit. Remove the 3 pieces of factory-installed case trim, both sides and top. Install the ZKFN right-hand and left-hand case trim pieces, attaching to the sides using existing trim screws in the holes provided down each side. A top piece of case trim is not required for flush installation. For a more custom appearance, flush inset panels may be installed on trimmed models. The panels must be a 1/2 inch thick with a 1/10 inch panel spacer and a 1/4 inch backer panel. If using a 3/4 inch thick panel, routing is required as shown. Next, install the panels. To insert the framed or overlay panel into the grille, raise the grille panel to the stop position. Loosen the screws on the underside of the bottom trim and remove the bottom trim. Slide the panel over the metal backer panel and into the trim. If necessary, tap with a wood block until the panel slips under the top trim piece. Reassemble the bottom trim. Tighten the screws and adjust the spring hinge to accommodate the panel weight. These screws can be tightened or loosened to adjust to the grille panel. Open the door to 90 degrees. Remove the 6 screws holding the door trim on the handle side, then lift off the trim. Be sure to retain the screws. Slide the framed or overlay panel into the door trim. For dispenser models, the dispenser controls protrude beyond the face of the freezer door. To avoid damage to the dispenser, the trim at the top of the door should be removed. Now remove the screws holding the top trim in place. Place the freezer panel into the bottom channel and slide into the hinge side trim. Reinstall the top trim piece with the original screws. There are 2 sets of holes in the door trim on the handle side. Replace the handle side door trim by installing the original screws in the front screw holes. Note that an aluminum cover trim is supplied for use with custom handles on overlay panels only. It is not intended for use with 1/4 inch panels and should be discarded. Follow the same procedures to install the opposite panel. For custom handles on overlay panels, the handle must be properly secured to the overlay panel before sliding the panel into the trim. Monogram does not supply the custom handle and hardware. This should be provided by the cabinet contractor. Reinstall the handle side door trim using all 6 supplied flathead screws, plus the 6 flathead screws originally installed in the handle door trim. Install a supplied bracket onto the top of the door using a Phillips head screwdriver and the 2 screws provided. Hand tighten the screws into the end caps. Do not over-tighten or damage will occur. Slip the aluminum cover trim onto the top bracket to check the fit. The aluminum cover trim has a slot on each end which fits the bracket. Remove the trim. Clean the area shown with alcohol before applying the double-sided tape. Peel away a few inches of the adhesive back. Remember, the tape is very sticky and strong. Once it adheres to a surface, it cannot be removed without possibly damaging both surfaces. Do not install the trim before the final wood panels are in place, and align the trim before removing the paper backing. Carefully place the aluminum cover trim onto the top bracket so that the bracket is inside the cover trim. Use the top to bottom grooves along the handle side to align the cover trim accurately. Align the bracket with the screw holes in the top of the door. Install another bracket at the bottom of the door to secure the cover trim. Use a small number 2 Phillips head screwdriver and the 2 screws provided. Follow the same procedure on the opposite door. This kit is supplied with 2 dispenser trims. The overlay dispenser trim is designed to fit a total panel thickness of 3/4 inch. If the panel is less than 3/4 inch, a noticeable gap may be created around the dispenser trim. If the panel is more than 3/4 inch, the dispenser trim cannot be secured to the door.